I was about to do something which I've done many times, which is drop this for some time. In my relationship with this girl, this plant, I have had many times where I have come to a point that I felt like I wanted some distance and I didn't really want to partake in it regularly so much and invest in it so much of my time and my money and my energy. But this whole thing, it's kind of like a dance that just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. And I was thinking maybe there's a way that I could change that, maybe do something different. And I have been kind of doing something different. I have been trying to create a different kind of relationship with it by, for example, right now, I never smoke before going to work. That used to not be a thing for me. I used to not have a time when I don't smoke. I used to smoke all the time. Like if I'm smoking in a day, it would start at any time I want. It would end any time I want. There's no such thing as any kind of rules or restrictions or guidelines or anything like that. But now, I am not smoking in the morning at all, ever. I don't smoke before going to work. I only smoke in the evening. And so that is a very different relationship already. But now, instead of dropping it, I was about to take a break for a week. And then I kind of broke and I went and bought some weed. And then I was sitting here like, oh, this is stupid. Instead of taking a break, it broke me. I fucked up. All this kind of thinking, and I want to gather my will and kind of like beat back at it. And not let it break me and I instead win. Like now it turned into like this whole like a fight. Like like it turned into this whole duality, like me and it, and now we're fighting. And I think that that's not real because there's just me. The thing itself doesn't really do anything. It's just there. And so is that the way to win, is by beating myself? Because that seems like even if I could win and have one part of myself subdue the other, I'm kind of still not really creating the ideal situation, because I'm obviously doing this whole thing in order to get to better myself, to improve my life, to make my life better, to make myself better. So why would it make sense to beat myself up in order to improve myself? Like not beat myself up as in like discipline myself and work through the difficult practice, not at all. Like take a part of myself and just like not even have it there, and instead of using it for something meaningful. And that's just the concept. In this particular case, we could debate the details, but I think it's so interesting when there's this whole possibility of doing something different, of changing my relationship with it. And I've been thinking now of trying to take my relationship with it to another level and making it maybe more ritualistic, because so far I kind of just smoke in any way, still at any time that's not before work, and still kind of haphazardly, or very like very, what's the word, mindlessly. It's very mindless. My relationship with it is very mindless. It's just kind of whenever, like all the time, you know? And so I was thinking, what if instead of pushing and letting go seems to not happen naturally at this moment, which I've been able to do that before, where I let it, it just a letting go takes place, and it's just resistanceless. So, but right now that's not happening, and I could push. I could do that. It's not that I'm not strong enough or have the means or inner strength or the will or the desire or the motivation or the need or the to just push down and not do it. That can exist. It is there. It's in my pocket, and I could pull that out. But is that the best way to do this? Does that create the most ideal situation that I can create? And maybe at one point that was the answer. And maybe for some people that is the answer. Maybe at certain times in our lives that answer is the perfect answer. But there's something foolish about considering only that as an option, instead of seeing that, you know, there's a whole life. It's freedom, and there's choice, and there is potential, and we have the ability to be able to do the things the way we want, and there's a way we could do this that is that I can do this that is less forceful, and maybe that is sometimes better. I'm not saying that that's better. There's also, you know, there's different ways to do things, and sometimes doing things this way is better than that way. But that's all I'm saying, is that maybe I've never tried this before. So what I'm thinking of doing is not using the bong at all, because bong just seems very dopey. It seems like I want to get it right now, and it's very like bleh. And my relationship with the bong, personally, is very, it is that it leans more towards that mindless side, where I just like put it in, smoke, go back, whatever, smoke more when I feel like it. It's just kind of mindless, and it just kind of like runs itself. And maybe I could just not do it that way, and do instead of getting back from work and smoking instantly, which is which is the usual, and almost necessary, even not even usual, very like highly expected, let's just say. I'm going to eat first. I'm going to take a shower, do whatever I need, and when I have gotten to the point in the day when I just have time for myself, I am going to make it ritualistic. I'm going to roll. I'm going to grind the weed by scissor. Look, I just made that up right now, but it sounds more sounds more intimate, and it sounds more ritualistic and conscious, less mindless. I'm gonna cut the weed by scissor, and I'm going to look at it, smell it as I'm cutting it, be conscious of how I feel, how it is changing my feeling by just looking at it, by being in its presence. And then as I smoke it, how my feeling is changing. And I want to say not like a prayer or a mantra, but say something conscious, like say something before I smoke, where like, oh, I am grateful to have you here today. You have made very beautiful changes in my life. I have struggled with you sometimes, and I am here in this moment because I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm interested enough and curious enough to engage in this relationship, and I'm hoping that my conscious effort makes this better for both of us, because I believe that perhaps the plant, if the plant does have any kind of will or awareness, perhaps doesn't want to be smoked or treated mindlessly. I don't think anything is like being treated mindlessly is not very nice for anybody. So maybe the plant also shares that and is able to kind of give that experience back as well, and therefore help me connect with it. And in that, like, I want to say something different every day before I smoke it, and when I finish smoking, I want to say something else, like a thank you, and like a something, whatever comes up, whatever feels real. If I feel like fuck you, this feels like shit, I can say that too. And just have it be real, have it be conscious, have it be ritualistic, and engage with it that way. I wonder what that would be like. I bet that would be quite interesting. So, that's gotta be my experiment for this week. And I'll update you and see how it goes. Maybe it's a piece of shit. Possible. Maybe it's awesome. And maybe I have to fine tune still. But that's okay. I feel like I'm getting better at this. Not by much though. But there's some improvement. Something.